now. Just a moment. Okay, so the recording is on. It will put it afterwards on YouTube. Okay, cool.
So, welcome everybody. Well, different every time, so different people, different faces. So if you haven't met me, I'm trying to see what's the best upload this with the light. So my name is Anna. I'm Russian. I live in the United States in Virginia Beach, and I've been kind of leading a couple of last webinars about emotions and eating and fasting. So if you go back and watch it, it's still there. I think Eric posts everything. So I'm also a Kundalini yoga instructor. I don't actively teach because I have other things going on in my life, but it definitely helps me to get through the fasts much easier. So when we eating, we get, I guess, our energy through food, or we get used to getting energy through food, or we tell ourselves that's where we get our energy, and then we get scared when we don't have food. Whatever you tell yourself. So when we make some changes in our lifestyles, and we say, well, maybe I can find some different ways to find energy for my body, or maybe I'll do it for cleansing, or for whatever reason. It's very important, at least for me, for my own practices, was to find, like, for once, what to do with my time. Because if you go, especially if you go for like a prolonged fast, that's several day fasts, the time with, like, you don't have to think about cooking, you don't have to think about preparing the food, not actually preparing the food, you don't have to eat, you don't have to digest the food, and you have a lot of free time, and your mind start kind of playing this game with you, where you start getting maybe a little bit more concerned because everybody else is eating. So one of the things that helps is to like any kind of breathing exercise, or any kind of, I guess, practices that helps you to generate energy otherwise, other than from food. So like qigong would be one of them, and tai chi would be another one. So yoga and breathing exercises like a pranayama would be just another like option for that. So I guess when Eric asked me to like do this today, the idea was that we'll talk about breathing, but there will also some practice some breathing. I'm sitting on the floor, so I'm hoping that we can practice some of the like spine exercise too. If you guys, yes, no, like I don't want to be doing this by myself. Like, yes, okay. So and this way maybe like we can mix it up and do a little bit exercise and talk, and then do a little bit exercise. Also welcome everybody to ask questions, like if anything in your mind, or any of your concerns. So I would, I'm so welcoming that. It helps so much to know like what to talk about. I do have a little bit of experience in like prolonged fasting, like a 7-day dry fast, and like now I'm doing the every other day for this month, where I like 36 to 40 hours where I dry fast, and then I eat, and then I do this like every other day. So I have a little bit of my personal experience I can share what helps. And even the so that's kind of introduction. So please type, you can type as you, if you think about it and I'm talking, you can type the question and I'll see it. You'll pop in the chat and I'll answer it for sure. So as far as yoga and Kundalini yoga, I'm not going to do, like, if I would teach an official class, we would tune in and do all of this, but we're not going to do any of that today. I think I'll just talk about exercises and like a breathing and how to coordinate and how to, like, I guess, feel better. So a lot of times when we start fasting, or we get to some point, and if you think about the food as an addiction, then if you can like find like a 10-15 minutes to distract your mind, then to recharge, it will be easy to continue on. So one thing I want to start with is very simple exercise, or I guess it's a Kriya. It's called Basic Spinal Energy Series, and it's very good for beginning. It's very good for flexibility of the spine. So everybody good to like do it together, right? Yes, I see some nodding. Yep. So I see some like some people on the floor. So I'm gonna see if I can adjust the computer a little bit so you guys can see me. So the first exercise is called spinal flex. So for that, well, like for any exercise, we want to sit down with the spine straight. So like you can actually do it on a chair if you're sitting on a chair. Just if that's the case, you can put your feet on the ground and really like lengthen your spine. Like just imagine maybe like something like hanging you like from the ceiling. So just sit here for a brief moment. Everybody can hear me okay? Even though I turn this way? Yes? Okay. So just sit here for a brief moment and make sure your sit bones on the floor. If that's not the case, so both sit bones on the floor. If that's not the case, maybe you want to like sit on something like a block or a pillow or blanket, something that can lift you up. So sit bones on the floor is important. And for the spinal flex, you hold on to your knees, and then you bring your chest forward and back, forward and back. So we'll do this for 24 times. And that's 4. And you inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. The head doesn't flop, you're just extending the spine. Inhaling, exhaling. It's really helpful to do this exercise with your eyes closed if you can when you do it by yourself. And you can increase the speed too as you get comfortable. And I'm not counting, but inhale, and a neutral inhale. And as you inhale, you can pull the root lock. Just engage your abdominal muscles, your anus and sex organ. Just pull everything in and hold it. And when you exhale, just imagine your exhale going up the spine and through your crown chakra, or through the head. We're not going to do the mystery. So that's the very basic one. And so it coordinates the breathing with the movement, and also helps the energy from the spine to move from the lower base to the higher base, or to higher, not base, whatever. So that would be like a first one. Just think about when you do this, notice how you feel and how your body feel in the breaks. We are so rushed to like, okay, what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next? And even in our lives, so when we do something, it's very important to just kind of, when we do an exercise, just to pause and notice how your body feels afterwards. Last one, I guess it was not something they expected. So the next one, will sit on the heels. It's called rock pose. So you sit like this, and it's the same exercise. If you can connect your heels, like if you can have them parallel to them, that would be ideal. If they have to open, that's fine. If you have to sit on a block or something else, like to modify, that'll be also fine. And it's the same one. So your hands on your knees, and you bringing your chest up. I still don't like this. Like I need to find a better way to you, but also like bringing forward and back. And this just gives you a better amplitude of the motion. And just really focus. Try to connect with yourself and really focus on movement of the spine and movement of the spinal fluids. And inhaling forward and exhaling back. You can increase the tempo if you feel comfortable, and then your breathing will increase as well. And inhale in the center and engage your root lock, pull on the anus, sex organ, and navel point, just engage the floor muscles, pelvic floor muscles, and hold the breath. And when you exhale, just consciously feel the energy going up and exhaling, like kind of like a fountain. So, and we'll just not gonna, I feel like I bore you. I don't know. So we'll do one more for the spine. So they go in a very like so the first one is good for the first and the second chakra, if you know the chakras, and then the second one is a little bit higher, and this one is twisting. It's also for the third chakra. You hugging your shoulders with your thumb in the back and the fingertips on front, and we're gonna sitting grounding your sit bones to the grounding, putting your sit bones to the ground, and inhaling left and exhaling right. And it's pretty fast if you can, like twisting. And breathe through your nose if you can. Inhale and exhale. And inhale in the middle. Connect. If you can, just engage your root log, pull everything in, just hold the energy in. Just think about when you close your eyes, you hold your energy inside and exhale. Yeah, we'll do a couple more just to finish it up, the progression. On the shoulder shrug, just inhale into your ears, exhaling down. And inhale, hold it up. Inhale, pull in the root log, engage all the muscles, hold the energy in, like really squeeze everything. And exhale. And let's do the neck roll. So 5 times one side and then 5 times the other side. Do as fast or as slow as you need to. Be mindful of yourself. And then when you did 5 to one side, just reverse the side. Okay, and inhale when you're ready, inhaling in the middle. And also hold and squeeze on an inhale, really collect. And when you're ready to exhale through the crown. Let's see. This is another one that I really like. and it's very quick. And like I usually even do it when I work. I usually like work back to back. I have clients back to back, and I don't take a break. But I usually like maybe have 5 or 10 minutes between clients. So this is very good to just kind of bring me back and reset myself with the hands in Venus lock, and it's just like this. For the females, the left thumb on top, and then for males, it's back on the right one on top, but you just interlace the fingers and you inhale up and exhale down. So it's kind of like a hammering. And inhale, put your hands over and put your energy right here between your crown and your hands. Close your eyes and just sit there. Engage your root lock and get your attention a little bit over your crown. And exhale, slowly, slowly, your hands like you brushing the sides, just kind of like really, really slowly, letting them down. And just sit here for just a little bit and notice a little different, notice difference that happened maybe with you in this few exercises. And they're very simple to do, and I like them. So that's my warm-ups usually. That's what I do before I start meditating. So the other one, the pranayama energizing, let's see, I can't find the one I wanted to. A little bit more simple. I'll just do from my memory since we're not doing anything specific. So the pranayama is basically breath work. There's inhale, there's exhale, and there's like we can hold on inhale and we can hold on exhale. We can do like alternate nostril breathing when we inhale through one and exhale through another one, or we can just like hold one and breathe through one side, hold and breathe through other side. So there's different ones. There's also one on the called Sitali pranayama that's done through your mouth, like and it's like a cooling effect. So they have a very different purpose, and depends on what are you trying to accomplish. So let's see. How to breathe. I think it's also important if you've like, I don't know if you've taken, if not, it's always good. If you have taken and you do know, it's, I guess, it will be a repeat, but we engage the diaphragm breathing. So when you inhale, you kind of push, like you pretend like pushing your air into your stomach. So try, I teach this to the kids like a calming breath. So when you inhale, see if your like a bottom hand can move. And when you exhale, also this hand will collapse. So that would be the correct, I don't think I understand what it says, Lorraine. So try this. So when you breathe in, really remember to take a full breath. And even when we do a breath of fire, it's also important. So breath of fire, it's done very fast at the rhythm of like a dog pounding, like, but it's the same as the long deep breathing. So when we do the breath of fire, we'll do those. I just want to kind of talk about them before. It's also the pump in the stomach. And when you start breath of fire, it's possible to get dizzy at first because you're not used to it, because it's just too much oxygen gets into your brain. If that happens, just return to the long deep breathing, and when you start feeling better, not dizzy, you can go back to the breath of fire. And when you get used to it, you can extend the time to like really long time. What's good about breath of fire is it's really good breath to release the toxins, to burn the toxins. It warms the body up, and also like if you, for instance, take do breath of fire for 3 minutes, it's like you just taking one breath. And if you like ever listen to any of the um, Eastern philosophers, they say that our life is just as long as like we have like just so much breath to take. So it's kind of like we're prolonging the life in a way, and it helps to bring oxygen to every cell of the body, and that's like kind of why we get dizzy, because we're not like the cells of our body is like, oh my gosh, what is that? It's like we're not used to it, like it's too much for us. So that's a breath of fire. And if you ever done or will do Kundalini yoga, it's very common there. Um, when you maybe if you Google or read about it, they have a different breaths where you focus on exhale, or when you focus on inhale. This one is neither. Okay, so you focus on both equally on exhale and inhale. So it's not something that you I guess. So you focus both, like you inhale and exhale equally. What helps me is pumping the stomach. So that's breath of fire. We'll do that, but I want to start with this pranayam. It helps to calm the mind, and I find it's very helpful, especially when I take break from food, uh, to have tools and to have some like alternative like coping skills for myself, to like calm my mind so I don't like feel anxious, or sometimes I just pick up some energies from my clients and I want to like come back to myself, to normal. So we're just gonna do is alternate nostril breathing, and close one side and inhale really deep, and then close the opposite side and exhale. And then we're gonna inhale through this side. And close and exhale. And inhale. Close. Exhale. And inhale. Close. Exhale. Inhale. Switch. Exhale. And inhale. Switch. Exhale. And release the hand and inhale together. And hold the breath. Engage your root log. Pull everything in. And exhale slowly. And exhale some more and hold. And come back to your regular breathing. Just check in with yourself for a minute. So this is very basic. This is something that to balance both of your hemispheres of the brain, and it helps to calm the mind, to calm the racing thoughts. So the other one, so emotional balance, that's the one. We'll do a breath of fire for 3 minutes. So breath of fire again, and if you're just starting, if it's easy for you to like keep your mouth open in the beginning, then you close your mouth later, that's fine. Definitely, like if you're starting, place your hand on your stomach and pump the stomach as you do that. Close your eyes. Try to focus between the brow points, and you can even like have a mantra. In Kundalini Yoga, we use mantra Sat Nam. What it means, truth is my identity, or like what I need is inside of me. But you can use any words that appealing to you. Like one of the purpose of the mantras is to separate your self from the inner dialogue that you have. So when you're breathing fast, you're focusing on the breathing, you have your eye focus between the brow point, you also reciting the mantra. You just hopefully don't have time to engage in inner dialogue at the same time. So we'll just do that for 3 minutes, and then if everybody will just notice how they feel before. And just take a couple of deep breaths before we start. And well, I'll start at the timing, so I'll do it with you. Continue pumping the stomach as you go. Make sure your spine is straight and lengthened to the ceiling. And if you need to continue, like, and take a breath with the long deep breathing and continue again on to move the breath of fire, you can do that. Almost halfway there. A little bit more. Keep pumping. And inhale. Inhale, hold the breath, pull in root lock, engage all the muscles. Keep your eyes closed. And exhale when you're ready. And just give yourself a minute, return to a normal breath. Notice your sit bones, notice your posture, notice yourself. Just check in with yourself. Remember to be very acceptant and very compassionate to here and now, and just acknowledge your state, acknowledge your effort, and acknowledge any change, and not be judging. Okay, so that's the breath of fire. So one thing that I wanted to talk about, the reason that I started even before I've ever got into Kundalini yoga teaching or any kind of after I got into yoga, but before I became actually a certified teacher, I've looked up and I found this the reasons why we do breathing, why we control breathing. For once in a regular life, if we have any worries, so respiratory system has this unique function from any other systems. It's involuntarily where we don't have to like think consciously to breathe. It happens without um, our conscious thinking. But unlike many other involuntary systems, the like cardiovascular or urinary or and so on, we can actually have some control of it where we can slow it down, and it helps our parasympathetic nervous system to calm down as well. So that's just the basic anatomy, and I find it's very useful to practice. I always tell this to my clients, like, you practice this breathing, you practice controlled breathing when you feel calm, when you feel okay, when you like it's same as if you want to go to like competition, you're going to train first. So like people sound like calm and say, well, yeah, I had a panic attack and I tried your breathing and it didn't work. Well, of course it didn't work because like your muscle is not developed. Like you have to really get comfortable with this technique when you're in a normal state, and then when you go to like competition or war or some crisis happen, you can actually go back to it and feel comfortable with it. So that's useful. The other and one more thing about breathing is actually also a Kundalini yoga teacher. He has a podcast, like a famous dude, and he treats or whatever, he has the protocols, like the breathing protocols, to implement to treat the anxiety. So that's something really cool and useful. And for me personally, when I started researching acidity of the body and what makes us to get sick and why some people get sick, some people don't get sick, they live together, they do same things, and like I got to this acidity, and the longer we hold the breath, the acidity of the body decreases. So the all the pathogens have it's not like this happy place for them to live. So by doing more of these breathing exercises and controlling, you're actually helping all your body to fight the diseases and stay healthy. The other one that I'm not going to do this, but also any of the inversion practices like a headstands, the handstands, or dolphin, like anything where you can go upside down. And if you can get there for like and hold it for like 10 minutes or so, then you're good. I can't do it for 10 minutes. My brain starts like, talking to me, but anything is better than nothing. And so that's also a really good practice, and it also helps to decrease the acidity. And with any of the fasting or any like a food breaks, also we help our body to decrease acidity and to get the I do speak English. Goodness gracious. Not the atmosphere, like an inner like situation, inner environment of our body where it's healthier and it's not disease prone, I guess. Like for instance, myself and all my 3 children, like we don't like get sick. I just don't get sick. And it's like my kids never been to the doctor. Like and my oldest one, well, he been to the doctor for the checkups, but like he's 17 and just how it is, and I don't know, it's just how it is. So I think it's working. So I'm like, I don't like usually advertise it or preach to anybody, but here we are. So one of the like a really cool one that I like, it's you inhale. So very similar to what we did the alternate one. But we're gonna inhale for 1 count. We're gonna hold for 4 and exhale for 2. I just want to make sure. Just give me a second. Want to make sure that I do the hand will go in the flow, and the nostril back the right nostril, the thumb, the index, next thumb, so we do the same alternate things. So I'm going to demonstrate, then we can do a couple of rounds together. So inhale on a 1 count, it would be just, and then hold on 4, and exhale on 2, like opposite nostril. So we switch and exhale. And then we're going to inhale on this one, on 1, hold, and opposite nostril exhale. And inhale the same, hold, and exhale opposite 2. Inhale 1, hold, exhale 2. Inhale 1, exhale 2. Inhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale, exhale, and inhale 1, and exhale, and inhale, and hold, and just hold, close your eyes, release your hand, and release. So this one was kind of quick. It's going to also be on doubled, on where you inhale for 2 and hold for 8 and exhale for 4, and then inhale for 2 and hold for 8 and exhale for 4. So you can play with your breath in the forest, but this is like I feel I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like my whole body kind of got like wider and like kind of bigger and stronger just by doing this little exercises with you. So that's just gist of it, very basic. Once I'm thinking, I think it's good for today. I mean, there's so much. Like I have literally, like I'll show you. Like I have this book, and it's all about pranayama. So, and it's like, it's definitely like, it's like a recipe. Like you can go and like find something you want, and like could do just that depending on like stimulation or like balancing mind or like releasing toxins or releasing anger or like anything. So it's pretty cool. But the time limited, and I also want to get some feedbacks from you guys, and so maybe you can share how it was, how you felt. Me, what's your experience like? Yeah, maybe talking.
Yeah, I'd like to share. First of all, it was great. Yeah, and I'm happy it will be recorded so that we can practice more later on. I wanted to ask, if we connect all this to fasting, let's say if a person is fasting, whether it is prolonged fast or just our short, like 24-hour fast, and they feel some kind of maybe weakness or nausea or different detox reaction or low blood sugar reaction, something like that. So what kind of pranayama, what kind of breathing exercises would you recommend specifically for that?
Um, well, overall, like I want to just kind of step apart a little bit about the breathing. Overall, the more you move, the easy any fasting will be. So like anything that gets your blood moving, that gets your lymph fluid moving, helps a lot. So walking helps. Like don't sit in place, so don't think like if you lay down you'll feel better. You actually feel worse because the toxins start coming out and you're not moving them. Also dry brushing, I do that. Like I have this brush and like I brush my skin every morning, and that helps to get the lymph fluid moving, and it's very effective on especially on dry fasting. um but the breath of fire would be a really good one. It's because it burns the toxins and it gets the blood moving, and get like a clean air, oxygen into your cells. So if you have the nausea or like this kind of the symptoms of like when toxins leave the body, that would be pretty good. But any of them, like the one that we did, the alternate one, is really good for common minds. Like when you feel a lot of times when we start feeling physically um not well, we start getting scared and we wanted to reflect, have this react to like maybe we need to eat something. So the common mind helps to just lower that anxiety, lower that worry, and to reset and remember the motivation why you started the fast in the first place. So hopefully that helps.
Good, good. And I also wanted to ask, in many guided meditations, specifically meditations by pranic people such as Jasmuheen and others, they use what is called circular breathing, like just very slow breathing where you almost don't have a pause between the inhale and exhale. So is it a part of a traditional yoga practice, or it's not a part? Because it's really, really relaxing thing when you do this kind of breathing and when you do guided imagery or something like that. So could you extend on that?
Um, to my knowledge, there is a such thing as a long deep breathing, what is basically what we didn't do that, but it's when you sit and you consciously slow your breath and you try to like maybe even count and start with like a 10 or 20 counts and like slowly like you extend it and you try to make it as even as possible. Um, I think it is part of it. The imaginary, like if you have something on the background, I think it will just help you to not to have the inner dialogue running as much, and I'll focus on something else. I think every time that we do any of the breaks from food and the pauses, we rewrite the program. So we put some new programs in our body and for ourselves. So I think it's nice if you can have a time of your day where you don't focus on your own inner dialogue, or you don't feed the old patterns and you create the new patterns. And I think especially on like this the dry days, it's very effective practice. I think it can be like engraved in our patterns much more effectively versus when our conscious is like taken by like consuming things. Yeah. Anybody else, ladies?
I enjoyed it. It felt good. Especially the last one. I really felt like it was
It's
really
hard.
nice.
It's hard.
My problem is to do it alone, like being
Motivated?
yeah, to do it when I'm here with you, so it's easy. But on my own, it's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, it is. It's hard. What helped me to like a long time ago, well, not that long. I mean, maybe 10 years ago, when I started and I started attending classes and reading about morning sadhana and I say like I have a busy life. I'm a professional. I have a family and a house and all of these things and I just don't have time and but then at the end of the day it's like only myself that I have like and if I don't take care of myself I cannot take care of everybody else. So I do get up before everybody else. I do take cold showers every morning and that helps and I do the skin brushing and then I don't do, as Yogi Bhajan says, like it's 2.5 hour practice. I don't do 2.5 hour practice, but I definitely do 45 minutes to an hour, where I just do the basic warm ups and I do the simple, like breathing is my favorite ones. I start still in bed I can show you this really quick too. It's pretty cool. I've been doing this for some time and it's pretty quick. It only takes like 6 minutes and it gets me going. Like I have to remember that if I don't do it for myself, if I don't fill my own cup, if I don't feel because I can only show the example to my family. I cannot force them to do anything. Um and if I'm strong and if I'm motivated, so it's just only my hope that when they grow up they will um follow that example. So yeah, but it's just you have to like it's so easy to bail on ourselves and you have to remember that like you are very important. You are the most important person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if later I can ask a question not regarding the breathing, regarding emotional eating.
Yeah, totally.
Yes. Now or maybe
Yeah, it's fine.
I wrote it in the group, but and Eric suggested I will ask you. Um, every time I do like a few days of juices or something, and I start to lose weight and feel thinner, something is like a button is pushed, and I don't know what it is, but I'm starting eating again. As soon as I realize I'm getting thin, I'm starting. It happened to me. I started to see it after my panic process when I lost a lot of weight. I did for 3 months of juicing, and I felt vulnerable physically, like.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started eating again,
Mm-hmm.
and now I can see it's a pattern, and I don't know how to release it. And I never been assaulted or something physically. I don't have something like trauma
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
know of.
Um, so again, like not knowing your history and some things, so don't take this as a like a counseling or anything. But what can happen is the fears, and I'll just speak about my own experience and what happened, and maybe that's something that you can like relate. One thing is so important to listen to yourself, and from what you telling me, I think there's some fears, and maybe the first time you did, it was very extensive, and you were not ready. So that like it's happened to me when I last year. So I've been doing this 36-hour fasting for I don't know 10 years, 9 years, something like that. Like not as a lot, but maybe once a week or once like every 2 weeks. And it was my norm, and I didn't really think about it as like something. Oh my gosh, like am I doing something amazing? Um, but I really wanted to do like a longer one. So last year I've got ready and I signed up for this retreat, and it was a 7-day dry fast where you don't drink or eat or anything, and it's almost 8 days, and you prep before and then you do the 7 days, and then you're supposed to have like an after thing. And I did really prep very well, and I entered it, and I did very well during the fast. I didn't have any complications or anything. I about like a day 5, I had my own like a personal kind of a mental breakdown. I think I didn't have enough like a psychological support at the moment, where I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, I just don't want to do this. Like we're walking in this beautiful island and people like eating all these beautiful fruits, and like, why are we doing this? Like, this is dumb. But I finished, and after that, I came back home and I had this like something just like switched, and I ate for like months. I think like summers it was okay, but then like the fall started and more work picked up and the school and like just stress, and I just ate. And I did not do a single day of dry fasting. I couldn't. I would like text like my friends like from like a fasting group, and it's like, what's going on? Like this is where like I'm just been eating away, and like I've been like not wanting to even, not even having motivation to start, even though like I know how good I feel when I fast. I know like what like it just, the feeling is amazing. Like you can't get it through anything else. If you try it like once, like it's kind of addiction. But I couldn't get back to it, and from like my own like what I think happens, and I had to like, even like I think in December I tried a couple of days again, and I'm like, no, I have to let it go, and I have to really reset and go back to like my normal eating where I don't like swing. Remember, it's about the swing. When we're not ready but we push ourselves too fast, the swing back will be too intense. So that's what happened to me. So about like a December, January, I just said, screw it. I'm not gonna like worry about it. I'm just gonna like get back to normal where I'm not gonna get any limitations, right? And then it helped. And about like March, I got ready and I started the intermittent fasting where I would eat just once a day, and now I'm doing this every other day. And I'm so glad, like it's like I got off that fear pattern, but I was scared, like literally, like because of like the deficit. The other thing that maybe can help is it's that pattern of like the third pattern, like where we switch from deficit to abundance. We go so much, and that's why like I've talked before, where we're like, oh, it's fasting, it's just like we were not eating. But it's freedom from food. It's the pause, like it's a time for our body to actually gain the strength back. Like think about that, think about the lightness, like the purpose you're doing this, like if you're doing the juices, like how much your body doesn't have to work to digest all that food, and like shift into that. But then again, like if you feel like you're pushing yourself too hard, it's like it creates too much of the swing. It's like it's time to maybe pause, and like where you can like reconnect with food, and then start again with like finding a different motivation. But that's what I had to do for myself. Hopefully that helps.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's hard, but that's the swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even call it fasting. For me, it's not. I don't connect this word even for the what I'm doing. It's like
just juicing. Yeah, just juice, like liquid foods, also foods. Yeah, but I don't know. Like also, the only thing like I can think of, it's like your experience when you had like a prolonged juicing, like there was some like shift, like where you had like a fear and it wasn't addressed, and like it swings you back. And I think, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. How about you, Lauren? I can't, I think you mute. I can't.
No?
Okay, good.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for all the activity you done. I want to share that in the beginning, when we did the exercise with the hands, I feel really heavy on my upper body. And it happened to me also on Qigong exercise. What does it mean? I feel so...
So anytime we do activities with the hands, it's also for our heart chakra. But like this exercise specifically, it's to cleanse our electromagnetic field.
Energetic field?
Electromagnetic field.
Okay.
So that, I mean, I don't know, like after like this is like very broad question. Like maybe understanding what it does. Like I feel not heavy, but it's very strong exercise. Like I have this sensation for sure.
I feel like something pulling me down when I do it. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's really tough for me.
So maybe when you do it, you can envision energy flow as when you go up. When you go up, you like inhale and you bring like kind of, if you think about the energy like a water, like the water comes up, and then when you exhale, water comes down. So like it goes in this, like really it's supposed to go like this, and then it goes like this. So when you do like a hand motion, just think about like you are moving the energy back and forth with you. So maybe that helps, and it's not like stagnates down. Try that.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of these yoga practices that I've noticed, they'd explain, but like you get the teaching, but they don't explain like how to like the energy works, and I think it's very important. If you know what to envision, it's much more effective.
And is it important when you exhale in each exercise, when you exhale and when you inhale? Does it mean something?
Depends. Like if the exercise specifically says inhale forward, exhale back, I think it's important. Like I follow the teaching. Some exercises don't say anything specific about the breathing patterns, so then it's
so
not.
Can you say maybe now which one is important, which one you think is important and which one isn't? I mean, just the one with the back and yeah.
The one that we did, like it's all so inhale forward, exhale back. It's very important.
And this one?
And inhale up, exhale down.
Okay.
And then just think about like as you pull in, like think about like if you have something, you pull up and you pull down, so your energy will move too. And I also envision like I make this kind of egg around, and then I envision this like a bubble for myself as I do that. And it's really like gets your electromagnetic field, your aura stronger. And people feel your radiance too.
Okay.
Okay. I think we can wrap it up. I need to go.
Can I ask the last short question?
Yeah, for sure.
There is, because I know also Russian, so I can listen to different people from Russia who do different kinds of, detox work and the breathing and the pranic living, energy living. So there are different approaches to the subject of oxygenation of the body or oxygenation of the cells. For example, in terms of yoga, maybe, or in terms of what some people teach, you should breathe deeply and slowly so that blood and cells get oxygenated. But on the other hand, there is a Buteyko method. Have you heard about Buteyko method? Yeah, and I have never practiced it, but from the information I got, I understand that it's the opposite. It's like a very shallow breathing, almost no breathing, and then they claim that there are benefits to that rather than to deep breathing and oxygenation. So what's your stand on that? Like, if you can extend on that.
I did when I was the Butenko method was introduced through that retreat that I did last year, the 7 days. I think it's like overall, like they also have like a shallow breathing where well, I don't know, it's still like a diaphragm has to, I think, like it's nice when you can learn to breathe with the diaphragm. I also think it's good to practice, but then let it go when you don't practice, and then I think the more you practice, you will find your way to breathe. I don't think you need to be forced. It's the same as, you know, if you go running or if you do some like a sport activity, you just do it for that short period of time and it doesn't like expand further. Like, you know, like you can use it, but it's not something. But I think it's, I don't know, different schools. I like, personally, again, I like yoga, like because like a tradition been like much longer. When I did Butenko exercises, it's much simpler, I think, but I don't find anything like that I can't do with my yoga exercises that it was giving me with her thing. I also think it's what works for you and what like makes you feel good. So like if you want to try something different, like I like qigong a lot, so like I like tai chi a lot, even though I don't practice as much. But it makes me feel really good. But whatever makes you feel good, I think it's important to find that. And what I was telling in the beginning, it's whatever it is, it will help you to get through any of those like practices. Because it just like energizes the body.
Okay, Anna, very good. Thank you very much. I will put your contact details below the video in case people want to contact you personally.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. It was so nice. I'm enjoying this so much.
Thank you very much. And yeah, we'll keep in touch maybe in the future.
We'll do it again.
We'll be doing it again. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Good evening.